Yeah. Hey, well, we can do a retake. We can do a retake. Do a formal.
Why?
Okay, just wondering.
I guess I don't need to send you pictures.
Actually, if you got a couple good this is a movie, so if you got a good couple
Stills?
yeah. And here comes John Avery representing the old Union soldier. And here's some more getting ready to gather as we honor the 150th anniversary of General John Logan's order establishing Memorial Day, May 30th. However, today is not May 30th. It's the Memorial Day established by Congress, which I guess takes precedent over a general.
And she's only 16. And it's like I've had kids in my house for 30 years.
Yeah, I love kids in my house. You just think, you go.
My oldest daughter.
This is Jefferson Barracks near the Civil War section.
I've never had a break. I've had a kid.
Actually, this is the. I'm told that they love me when I flip stuff around, so this is the Minnesota monument on the back of it for the Civil War
A
dead.
little easier than chasing all day long, but then she's going to come home and go to sleep.
You're looking at a scene as we gather for the 150th Memorial Day, and we're down holding the ceremonies down by the Daughters of Union Veterans of the Civil War marker, which is just at the end of this road here. How you doing?
How are you doing today?
I'm hot.
Okay.
My car says it's only 7.
Present Bob Amsler. Bob, yeah. Yeah,
That's
attention,
Marty
please.
Abishon
But
talking.
anyway, well, thank you for coming. I'd like to present Bob Amsler, our camp commander of U.S. Grant Camp number 68, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War.
I want to thank everybody for coming down here today. And we're going to remember our ancestors, because the Sons of Union Veterans, most of us, not necessarily all, but most of us can trace our lineage back to people who fought on behalf of the Union during the Civil War. And so, what you may not know is this is the 150th anniversary of the start of Memorial Day. And I feel very privileged to be out here doing that today. And the way that came about was there were a number of cities after the Civil War that would go and decorate the graves of the fallen from the Civil War. Now there's a lot of dispute over what city it was, and I'm not getting into that fight. But what I can tell you is the first formal declaration for the Memorial Day was for May 30th, 1868, just 3 years after the war about. And at that time, the Grand Army of the Republic had come into existence. And what that was that day's American Legion, or their Veterans of Foreign Wars. It was the first veterans group of any note to form after a war. And at that time, there was a general in charge, General Logan, who was a general in the Civil War, and he was the commander of the Grand Army of the Republic at the time. And picking up on what had been done before in these little towns that he had heard about, he issued what was called General Order Number 11, which I'm going to read to you today. And that is what established Memorial Day. And it says, 1. The 30th day of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet, churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form of ceremony is prescribed, but posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized, comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead who made their deaths the tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms? We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. If our eyes grow dull, our hands slack, and our other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it as long as the light and warmth of life remain with us. Let us then at this time appointed gather around the sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with the choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag that saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as a sacred charge upon our nation's gratitude, the soldiers and sailors, widows and orphans. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that it will be kept up year to year while a survivor of the war remains, to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to lend its friendly aid in bringing to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewith. By order of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief. And so 150 years ago, we have gathered here once again to do what they did for their brothers. And this time it is our ancestors. Heavenly Father, grant unto them eternal rest. We would now like to place the wreath. And ladies, if you have flowers.
We got Marty Aubuchon, John Palmer, and Don Palmer, past Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Union Veterans, placing wreaths at the Daughters of Union Veterans marker.
On count two. Ready. 1, 2. Ready. Hey. Arms. Arms. Reset. Arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony today, and we thank you for coming out and remembering our ancestors with us. I'd like to thank the artillery and Greg Dolinsky's group. And now we'll follow our Confederate friends over to their side for their portion.